Welcome everyone to our program coming to you from the Ashland branch of the Pamunkey Regional Library. Today we are learning about avoiding scams associated with coronavirus. And we have Martin Bailey and Trudy Murata with us, who are AARP Community Ambassadors. So with that, please take it away, Martin and Trudy.
Thank you, Carol. And thank you, Trudy, for being here with us this morning. And I hope that we give you some good information concerning the COVID-19, especially the scams and the frauds that are going around right now with the COVID pandemic. What we want to do today is we want to go over some of the scams. We have our stimulus scams, our health testing scams, charity scams, and what's called stuck-at-home scams. And stuck-at-home scams are about 4 to 8 different types of scams that are going around now, and more so now because of the virus than before. And of course, the stimulus scams are the stimulus checks that are going to be coming out, what happens on that whenever the health testing scams, the vaccine scams, and the charity scams. A lot of the charities are popping up again on the COVID virus. Okay, for the stimulus payments, a lot of things on the stimulus payments, what the scammers do is when they contact you, they'll either contact you by email, voicemail, or phone, text. And one of the things they try to do is get you on the stimulus payment program, and they say, we can help you speed up this payment. We can get you the payment faster if you, and here's the scam right now, if you give us certain information. And what they're going to be looking for is they're going to be looking for your name, your full name, your social security number, date of birth, and this is all to quote unquote verify your identity. So they're going to be asking you for information like that. They're also going to be asking you if you'd like the check sent to your bank, so you get it faster if you give us your banking information. So you'll give them your bank account information, and right now the scammer has your total ID as well as your banking information. And the scammer is going to claim to be from the government agency, and when they do, they will contact you, and they will be very professional. They will give you their name. They may give you an employee number. They'll give you the branch of the government they work for. In this case, here's the Social Security or the IRS, and they will tell you what branch of the IRS they work for, and they'll give you a phone number. So be very, very professional, so you feel that you are talking to, in fact, a professional government employee. Now, one of the things you want to do in order to protect yourself against this is, one, ignore any contact that you may have with a government employee that they initiated. The federal government is not going to contact you about the stimulus package. They're not going to send you an email. They're not going to send you a text, and they're not going to call you up on the phone or even knock on your door. They are not going to contact you. So once you get contacted by them, unless you initiated the contact, you can basically ignore it. It's a scam. If you think for some reason that it may not be a scam, take down whatever information they have and then go on another way to verify it. Go on the website, look up the phone number, and ask the IRS, are you in fact looking for me? Are you trying to get in touch with me some way about my stimulus payment? If you do make contact with them or they make contact with you, absolutely under no circumstances do you give out any personal information unless you've initiated the contact, you know who you're talking to, and you know why they're going to use that information. Again, we ask you to seek out trusted sources. If you have a question about the stimulus package, Google the IRS, look for their website, and find out what site that the IRS is using to tell you about the stimulus package. And you can go on probably a lot of the other sites. Federal Trade Commission will have something about the stimulus package. I know AARP has stuff about the stimulus package. So there's a lot of sites out there, legitimate sites out there, that you'll be able to go to help you find out information about the stimulus package. And again, know the facts. Know the facts about the stimulus package. Are you in fact going to be entitled to a stimulus check? How is the check going to come? Is it going to be by a card, like a debit card type thing, or a credit card they may send you? So you'll have to know these facts. Again, when you know these facts, it protects you more. And you find these facts by going online and looking at the different sites, the IRS sites and things like that. The next big scam is out there is your health testing, or your health and your testing scams. One of the things you'll find out both in getting the vaccine, testing for the vaccine, and just anything dealing with the health and welfare around the coronavirus. One thing you will find are ads and messages saying that we have an unproven treatment. We have a treatment that no one knows about except for us, and it's, we can prove that it helps prevent the virus or it cures the virus. It may be a supplement that they're pushing, a treatment supplement, a fake vaccine, anything, I guess, that the scammers can get you emotionally involved, that you feel that this will help you out. So let's go out and buy it, or give the scammer some information. Now, one of the things when they talk about the health information, they will ask for your name, social security number, date of birth for identification, and also maybe your Medicare or medical insurance numbers, so that they can charge it, quote unquote, charge it to the appropriate medical authority. Okay. Now they've not only stolen your ID, now they've stolen your medical ID. So they can do scams on your medical record. So these are all the things that the scammers are going for. They may come up with fake COVID websites. So you'll go online and you may misspell something, or you may be directed, if you get an email, they may direct you to a website that's a fake COVID site of some type, and it will again ask you for information. You'll go on the site and may tell you to click on this URL, drop down a list, and ask you for your name, date of birth, maybe a Medicare number again. Again, what they're doing is they're fishing for this information, gaining information from you so they can run other scams on you and they can scam you. Also, if you go on, if they get a text message or an email and they tell you to click on it, we recommend not clicking on that thing or not clicking on a URL, because it's probably going to download malware on your computer, and they'll be able to take over your computer or basically spy on you, load a virus on your computer that will do nefarious things on your computer. So you definitely do not want to click on anything. The best thing to do is delete it. Don't engage, just delete the thing. They'll do drive-up testing sites. They'll have, again, the emails will come out, text messages will come out, or even the phone calls will say, you're eligible to get your vaccine today or tomorrow. The testing site has been set up. Please, verify your identity so that we can take you there and we can schedule you for the site. They'll give you some address to go to. It's an illegitimate address. It doesn't really exist. Okay, so again, the best thing to do is go through the county that you're in, Fairfax County, Loudoun County, Prince William, wherever county it is. Go through the county and find out where the county is giving the vaccines, or if there's doing any testing, where the county's testing. I know for Prince William, I think Fairfax also, you can sign up for emails from the county, and they will give you an email either daily or at least 2 or 3 times a week, as far as testing sites that are open, vaccines that are being given, and general information concerning the sites. You can also go to the CDC and other medical sites that will give you information concerning health and testing of the virus thing. Another thing that you will may run into is a mandatory test. Again, you'll be contacted, and this time the email or the text will say, you have been selected for a mandatory test. You have to show up at this site and you have to give us this information, because if you don't, and then they may threaten you some way where you won't be able to get the vaccine, or we have to arrest you, or we're going to suspend your Medicare number or your medical insurance numbers. So they'll threaten you in some way, again, to build up some type of emotion, some type of fear for you to click on the URL or give them this information that they want. And they'll do the same thing over the phone. They'll threaten you over the phone, again, to get you emotionally involved and to get that information. Now, one of the things they're finding on the vaccine scams is, I got that little vaccine card there. I got my COVID vaccine. People are going on social media and posting their vaccine card. Well, the only problem with that is the vaccine card has your name, your birthday, and may or may not have your Medicare number or some other numbers that the scammers can use. So you're giving the scammer right there, you're giving them personal identification without these guys even working for it. So you do not want to post your vaccine card online. I think on the backside of the vaccine card, you got something like that, a little Band-Aid or something saying, hey, I got my vaccine. You could post that, let them know you got your vaccine, but make sure you do not have any personal information on those sites, and do not post any personal information. Again, how to protect yourself. Only listen to trusted resources. Okay, this is your doctor's office, your CDC, like Inova, the medical authorities that are giving the vaccine, your counties. These are the people that you want to trust. So you may have to do a little bit of research and find out where these sites are at and who you can trust. Give your doctor's office a call. They'll give you that information. Give CDC a call. Give your medical authorities a call and find out where to go to. They'll more than happily give you that information so that you do not get scammed. And recognize the scare tactics. Again, if they are emotionally getting you involved, what you want to do is you want to step back, take a deep breath, and basically say no. And Trudy, what's your no response? You're on mute.
My no response is, what part of no do you not understand?
Thank you. And what you want to do is once you feel that you're, like I said, being emotionally dragged into something, you want to step back, take a deep breath, and tell them no. Keep repeating the no response until the scammer realizes that you're wasting their time and they leave you alone. So you recognize those scare tactics. And even if it is a legitimate site or a legitimate person calling you and you're still not 100% sure, tell that person, say, I feel uncomfortable with you. Let me verify your information, break contact with them, and go to another site to verify that person's information. And again, absolutely, I don't know how many times I'm going to repeat this, but do not give out personal information unless you've made initial contact with the person. Okay, charity scams. One of the things we know that the scammers will follow the headlines. If there's a headline out there, something bad has happened, the scammers all of a sudden pop up a whole bunch of different charities. The charities will be very, very similar to some of the existing charities. There may be a word misspelled or maybe an added word, but the charities are going to sound like they are in fact helping, in this case here, the COVID-19 victims. It's going to have something with COVID-19 victim help or victim assistance, something that really sounds legitimate. You go on there, and again, it's a scam. They're going to ask you for money. They may ask you for personal information. But again, all the scammers want to do is make sure they get that money from you. If you talk to them, they will give you high pressure sales tactics. And when they say high pressure, if you talk to most of your salesmen, legitimate salesmen, they will say, you know, people are really needy. They need this information or they need your money and what this money will go to. And they will give you legitimate reasons why you're getting this money. Scammers will say, don't you want to help that poor child who's losing their parents and their grandparents who are in the hospital? They will paint a morbid picture for you so you feel sorry, you feel guilty, and you will want to give that money to them. This is the high pressure tactics that these people will use on you. Again, you can feel that emotion being drawn, or you can feel you're being drawn into this thing. Back up and say no. I don't know how many times I've said no to scammers, and my no response is send it to me in the mail. For the last 30 years or so, I've never got anything from mail from the scammers. Okay. And again, they may use names very similar to well-known charities. And again, you'll want to check out the charities before you give any money to them at all. How to make yourself, protect yourself against them. Donate before you donate. These are a couple organizations or a couple websites you can go to, and you can check out the charity. One of the things you want to find out is how much, what percent of the money that you give actually goes to the victims of that charity. There's one charity that was busted in Maryland that 95% of the money sent to that charity went to the charity itself, went to the pay, went to the marketing and things like that. Only about 5% went to the victims. You want at least somewhere between 65 and 75% of your money going to victims instead of the charity itself. When you are contacted by the charity, do not send cash, do not give gift cards, do not do wire transfers, and do not do Bitcoins. This type of money giving is hard to track, and usually once that money is given to the charity, you're not going to get it back. So if it's a scam, you've basically lost your money. So you'll want to give by credit card or by check, some way you can track what you gave and who you gave it to, and you can track that particular transfer. One of the things that you may want to do, and this is not only for the COVID idea, but also any type of charity that you want to give to, you may want to select what type of charity do you want to give to, what's your favorite cause, and use some type of plan to say, okay, this is the charity I want to give to. If it's like for child welfare or children's hospitals, you may want to do like, say, a Shriners Hospital or St. Jude's Child Hospital. So these are children's hospital. You go online, you know they're legitimate, you know how much money is being given, and you know that these are the charities you can go to. Same thing if you have veterans charities, wounded warriors and things like that. Again, check them out, find out how much money goes to these things. And you can call these charities up and talk to them, and they'll be more than happy to talk to you and tell you about the charity and where the money goes to. So again, what we recommend is write a plan out and stick to your plan. So if something bad happens, you've got a plan on who you want to give to. Personal recommendation is give to the charity of your choice and not necessarily to the headline charities that are out there today. Again, personal choice on your part, but give it to the charity. Again, you'll want to check the charities out. Okay, stuck at home scams. These are some of the scams that go on all the time, but because of the COVID virus, they've got a little bit of a virus twist to them. One of the things is the home air duct repair. Because of the virus is transmitted by the air, you'll get the scammers who are posing as maintenance people, and they will either knock on your door and tell you they're in the neighborhood, and for a low price, they can come in and check your air duct system, and they can make sure they can sanitize it for you, or it can actually replace it in case it needs replacing. And because we're in the neighborhood now, we can lock you on with a low price, but you have to do it now. So there's the urgency, there's the red flag. You have to do it now. You have to, sign up for it now, and we will come in and do this stuff for you. Or you'll get a phone call saying, we're going to be in your neighborhood, and this is what we can do for you, but you have to do it now. So the big red flag on any of the air duct scams or any of the home repair scams is you have to do it now. And one of the scams I know goes around in Fairfax County a lot is the trying to think, it's called what's that? Trudy, what's the name of the scam that Fairfax uses? I want to say woodchuck. I want to say gopher, but woodchuck scams. And what these people will do is they'll say, "Oh, there's a tree that's hanging around your house. It looks like it's going to fall down." They may do something with the tree, and then they say, "Oh, there's something wrong with your roof," and then they'll come down with a bucket of shingles they supposedly took off your roof and everything like that, and how bad your roof is, and they got to repair your roof. And the thing just goes on and on and on. But again, you have to do it now because we're here and we have the material, and we'll give you a reduced price. But the urgency is you have to do it now. So that's the big flag for that one there. Whenever you get a maintenance person or a maintenance person come around your house or give you a phone call. Grandparent scam. This is something that Fairfax County Police has got with me and said this is one of the things that they want presented in their COVID virus one. Grandparent scam is raising its head again, except that this time here's the grandchild is not involved in an accident or needs money for something like that. They are in fact in the hospital and they have been diagnosed with the virus, or they're just getting out of the hospital after being in the hospital with the virus. So the whole thing revolves around the virus. And again, it's the normal grandparent scam, except this time instead of car accident or something like that, it's the virus that they're talking about. And again, they want to get you emotionally involved. They'll tell you, oh, keep it a secret. Don't tell my parents because they don't know I'm in the hospital and I need this money to pay the hospital bill, or I need this money for drugs, for treatment, or for supplements for treatment, and whatever it is, they're going to need the money for. Now, one thing on the grandparent scam you want to watch out for, and same thing with the romance scam and the puppy scams, is what's called reloading. And what the scammers will do is they will say, I need money to get out of the hospital. So you'll provide, if you're scammed, you give your grandchild the money for that one there. And then they're going to call back and reload it because they got money off you the first time. They're going to reload and say, I need money for drugs now, for payment of drugs. And so if you give them money for that, and they'll go and they'll reload it again and say, I need money for certain supplements. And they'll keep reloading it until you realize that you spent thousands of dollars on this quote unquote grandchild that, you just got scammed. And again, the way they're asking for the money, you're probably not going to be able to get it back. Okay, romance scams, because we've been sequestered for so long, we've not been able to go out and meet people. A lot of us are lonely, and what we do, we go on dating sites or even social media sites, and it's not so much that we're looking for romance. A lot of us are just looking for somebody to talk to, somebody maybe of our age group. Hey, let's talk. What are you doing? How are your grandkids doing? Things like that. Somebody to talk to. And a lot of times it may lead into a romance. And what happens on these romance scams is a scammer is going to get you. You're going to feel an emotional tie. They want to build a relationship with you, some type of trusting relationship at a very, very quick pace. Usually what would normally take anywhere from 9 months to 12 months to build this type of relationship, the scammer tries to build in 3 or 4 weeks. He tries to build a relationship like that very quickly. He's building your trust, getting your trust. And again, he's going to be scamming you. You're not going to be able to meet him because he's in some foreign country. He's either on an oil rig. He's a doctor without borders. He's a soldier over in Afghanistan somewhere. So you're not going to be able to meet him. He's going to start asking for money for little things, maybe a gambling debt. Maybe his mother needs some medical treatment that he can't afford. An unknown debt that he has all of a sudden popped up. And he's going to be asking for this money. He's going to be saying he'll pay you back, and he never pays you back. And unfortunately, people have gotten into these scams and have lost. I know I had one lady, two scams that I've worked on. One lady lost $93,000, another lady lost $123,000, and a third one lost over $300,000 on these scammers. And all 3 of them actually believe that these scammers are legitimate people and that they are going to come back to them. And we gave them a lot of information to show them that no, these are not legitimate people. These are scammers, and that you've been scammed, that you've got an issue out there. Again, emotion, if they feel a play on your emotion, break it off and tell them no. And especially if they start asking for money. Once they start asking for money, that's the biggest red flag you can find. In fact, for the Secret Service did a program on this, and they said that's the big red flag. As soon as they ask for money, break off any contact with them at all. Puppy scams, similar to romance scams, except this time instead of a person, you want a puppy or some type of pet. Again, the pet, you're not going to be able to meet the pet. The pet's going to be in another part of the country. The scammer is going to say, what pedigree do you want? That's the pedigree that you have. They'll send you a picture of the puppy. And one thing on the romance scam, you'll start sending pictures back and forth. When you get the picture, you might want to Google image and see how many times a picture actually appears. I had one person give me a picture, or did the Google image. The picture that he got from the young lady appeared, I think, 17 times, because she was a Miss Venezuela. And the lady that was there, the lady had a picture of a gentleman that she was talking with. He appeared 11 times, and he was a male model. So these are the things that scammers will do. And they'll do the same thing with the puppy. What type of breed you're looking for, they'll have that breed out there, and they'll have the perfect picture of that particular breed out there. Again, find out how many times that picture appears on the net. The puppy scams, they're going to tell you there's certain veterinarian bills you have to pay. There's certain transportation bills you have to pay. And again, they'll reload it. Oh, there's other veterinarian bills you have to pay. There may be some type of state regulations you have to worry about. So again, what they're doing is they're doing nothing but getting you to give them more and more money. And after a while, you realize that you've been taken, you break it off, and chances of getting your money back are really slim to none because of the way they're asking for the money. Okay, ways to protect yourself on the home maintenance scams. Make sure you only accept help from those people you trust. And this is where you can go to the Better Business Bureau and trust them out. You get a recommendation from a friend or a neighbor who has these people work for them before. You talk to the people, or that person may have worked for you before. So this is the type of maintenance people you want, is make sure you've checked them out. When you get phone calls, and we recommend this not only for the COVID scams, but all scams, if you get a phone call, we recommend you screen the call, let it go to voicemail. And if it's a legit call, they will give you a voicemail. Scammers will also give you a voicemail, but the legit calls will definitely leave a voicemail for you. When you get the voicemail, find out the phone number, find out who it's from, what information they give you, and then verify it yourself. Do not use the phone number they gave you. Do not do a callback number on your phone, on an automatic callback. Dial the number yourself on a number that you've researched out. If it's like a government agency, you call up, say the IRS says they're looking for you. You give the call to the IRS, say, hey, I'm Martin Bailey. I got a voicemail. I just wanted to make sure, double check this is the call. Are you looking for me and for what reason? They will find out if they're looking for you and they'll give you the reason why. So this is the thing that you'll want to double check, make sure you screen the calls. If you do accidentally pick up, you will probably get a robocall. The robocall is going to say, press 1 for a live agent. It may say press 2 to discontinue this type of call. If you press 1, you will get a live agent. And again, they're going to be fishing for information for you. They'll threaten you on the phone, tell you got a problem with your taxes or with whatever, and they'll want that information. They'll tell you can get rid of the problem if you pay right now. Again, the urgency, and especially if it's law enforcement, they will say they have a warrant out for your arrest, and the only way to get rid of that warrant is to pay right now. Or the only way you're not going to have your social security number suspended is to pay right now. So again, they put that urgency, they put that fear into you. Government is not going to tell you to pay over the phone. And the government is not going to have you pay by Bitcoin, gift card, or anything like that. So they're not going to do that. They're not going to do it over the phone. And they're not going to tell you have to pay immediately. They will usually work out some type of plan with you. If you engage and you press 2 saying you don't want any of these calls anymore, press 2 lets the scammer knows there's a human being at the end of the line. Go ahead, keep calling them, because sooner or later they may engage with us. One of the things that a lot of people that, or not a lot of people, but several people that I talk to say, oh yeah, we like to engage the scammer and keep them on the line for as long as possible. So that way we're wasting their time and they're not engaging other people. The only problem with that is the scammer, once they hang up, scammer's going to look at the records and they're going to find out not that you've talked to them, but how long you've talked to that person. And they know, one, there's a human being, you like to talk, and chances are sooner or later you're going to make a mistake. So this is what they're counting on, that you make that mistake and they get some type of information from you. And the next one is, do not talk to strangers on social media, never send any money, never give them any type of personal information. A lot of times we'll get a friend request on social media, or I know the last several weeks I've gotten several friend requests from people that I think I might know, but why am I getting requests from them all of a sudden when I haven't talked to them in 20 or 30 years? So chances are somebody got their name from somewhere and they know that, okay, I may know them somewhere. So they're saying, hey, do a friend request. Do not do a friend request to them. I've had a couple of people, friends of mine, have had their social media hacked. The scammers will get a list of contacts and they will send you a friend request and saying that, oh, Trudy said that you wanted to be a friend or recommended you for a friendship. And say, oh, Trudy recommended you to be my friend? Really? One, I don't think Trudy knows you, but let me double check. So always give, and do not do it on Facebook either. If say Trudy's, say the thing came over from Facebook, do not do it on the same social media. Give her a call or give her an email and say, Trudy, do you know this lady here that she asked? Do you know her? And chances are Trudy never heard of her and did not recommend to be a friend. So Trudy now knows that her social media probably has been hacked. So this is something you want to, again, protect yourself. One of the things that we unfortunately tell people is almost do not trust anybody. Is unfortunately we're coming to in the system today. Trust only those people you know. Trust only those people you've met face to face, and that you have some type of relationship with them that you can really actually trust them. And again, develop the refusal script. This is the no script that we've been talking about. Make sure you practice it. Once you feel emotionally involved with the person, step back and keep saying no until that person basically leaves you alone. We did that one, boom. The other COVID scams. Now these scams here seem to be I'm going to say really the nastiest ones, because these are what are playing on not only the emotion, but the situation that this COVID pandemic has put a lot of us in. Employment scams, uh, you will be contacted again with somebody who is going to offer you employment, and the offer is going to be you don't have to have any type of experience at all. Just send us your resume. You've probably already qualified for the position. Excuse me, for the position. Uh, they'll build you on like that. There, here, let's do a security check on you. Fill out this information, and again, what they're doing now, they're fishing for that information before they've hired you. A legitimate company will not ask you for any type of information until they've hired you. Now, it may be a contingent hire based on your background check, but they have hired you. So you do not want to provide any type of information until that company says they've hired you, they've given you a hiring document and everything like that. The scammers will come and fish for that information before they hire you. So the employment scam, you may go online, you may see a job opportunity out there. Again, it's too good to be true. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. You apply for it. You don't need any type of education for it. You don't need any type of background for it. You're definitely qualified for the job. This is what you have to do. Here's the information you have to provide us with. A lot of times we'll follow this up with, you do need special training, and we will provide you this training for a price. So if you want to get started on this job, you have to take level 1 training with us. And then you'll find out that the job's not really going anywhere. And this is because you need level 2 training. And by the time you get to level 15 or 16 training, you realize that you have been scammed. So a lot of things that what they do is they keep trying to train you, or you have to buy more and more inventory to sell, or be something like this, where they're trying to give you something, sell you something. Again, they want your money and your personal information. This is all these scams are. Loan and debt consolidation. What the scammers will do is they'll say, you need a loan, we can loan you money, provide us with this information, and we will give you money at a very, very low interest rate. We know you qualify. We don't have to do a credit check on you because we know you're a good person. Right there, you know it's a scam. There's no loan company out there, or nobody who loans you money is not going to loan you money unless they do a credit check. They are going to do a credit check on you. So you have that flag right there. Another one is debt consolidation, where you have a lot of loans out, you have a lot of debts, you're having problems meeting these debts, paying all these debts. What the scammer will do is they'll say, okay, what we can do is we can consolidate all your debts for you. And if you give us the money, we can actually make the payment for you. So they will ask you for all this information, all your debt information. So now you're giving them all your credit card information, probably a lot of your banking information, maybe some other type of financial information. You're giving them all this information as well as your personal information that you're giving them. And they're going to say they're going to consolidate these debts for you. A couple of days later, they'll also say, how much can you afford to pay? So you'll say, well, I might be able to pay $500 a month. Okay, fine. So a couple of days later, they'll come back and say they've gotten with all their credit companies, and for $475 a month, so we're actually saving you $25, we can pay your debts for you. So you send the check to us, or pay us by credit card, or better yet, pay us by Bitcoin or gift card. And what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to get with all your creditors and make sure your debts are paid. So you feel like you got a good deal here. You're under your maximum amount that you can afford. You're giving it to the scammer. The scammer's actually paying your debt for you. Probably about 2, 3, 4 months, you start getting letters of indebtedness, letters that you owe money to these credit companies again, that you've not paid your debt, you still owe money, and you're trying to find out why. And this is because the scammer has been taking your money and keeping your money. They've not been doing anything, as well as you give them that personal information up front. So this is the thing with the loan and the debt consolidation scams you have to worry about. The extortion or the blackmail scams, and this a lot of times will come from your romance scams, or you may receive an email saying that your computer's been hacked. Now, what happens is let's go back to the romance scams, where we say, okay, let's exchange pictures. Hey, I'd really like to have a picture of you with a little more risque type thing on it. Okay, do not send any pictures on a romance scam, or in fact on the web at all, unless you feel comfortable showing them to your mother and having your mother, would your mother approve you sending the picture like that? If she does not approve you sending a picture like that, do not send the picture. Same thing with texting. When you're writing the person, you're emailing the person, the text may get a little risque or whatever. Again, show the text to your mother. Would your mother approve of what you're writing? If your mother would not approve of it, do not send it. This is what I call a mother rule there. Do not send it if your mother would not approve of it. And later on, we'll get with a mother rule. We'll talk about knocking on the door and phone calls. So that's that one there on the romance scams. On an email, you may get an email, and I've got a couple of these where the subject of the email say, you've been hacked. And you go down and you read, I've been watching you for the last 2 or 3 months. I hacked into your computer. I have a piece of virus or a piece of malware on here. I've been tracking everything you've done. I know the nasty sites that you go on to. I have videos of what you do on these sites. And the thing just goes on and on and on and on and on. A lot of people, although they actually know that they've not done any of this stuff, they immediately are fearful of what's happening because the scammer's saying, if you don't pay me within 24 or 48 hours, I am going to, because I've hacked into your computer, I've got your contact list, I'm going to release all these videos to your contacts. I'm going to release all your text messages to your contacts. And you know how embarrassing that will be. So a lot of people will bite on this thing because they're so fearful that maybe he's done something, maybe they are embarrassed. What happened? I don't know. So they will do this. Some of the people that actually do bite on these things have been doing things online that they shouldn't be doing, and they are guilty of something not as bad as this, but they may be guilty of something. So they feel the hacker, in fact, did hack into their computer, and they bite on these things here. A lot of times what the scammer is going to do, he's going to say you have to pay so much money and so much time. It's usually going to be by Bitcoin. And they will even give you instructions on how to use Bitcoin in their letter. So they're very sophisticated on what they do. Again, what they want is your money. This is one of the few scams that I've gone on to the different law enforcement sites, and almost every one of the law enforcement sites have told me it's 100% scam. It doesn't exist. What they're doing is trying to get the money from you. Okay, what we want to do is, again, do not send sensitive information or share sensitive information with people you don't know. Screen your calls. And again, one of the mother rules that I have, when you screen your call, and if you get a knock on the door, your mother always told you it's not very nice. You always have to be polite. Make sure you're very polite to the person and close the door on the person after you said goodbye to them and stuff like that. Or when you hang the phone, make sure you hang up the phone very nicely. Okay, the first part of the mother rule, we said pictures, texting, obey your mother. This part of the mother rule, we're saying no. Slam the door in the person's face, hang the phone up, because you want to be rude to them because they will be rude to you. So again, conflicting views on how to obey your mother. But again, this is my mother rule. I don't know if AARP approves of this or not, but this is what I call my mother rule. Make sure you do your research, not only for charities, but research the different websites you may be going on. One of the things I'll do in one of my presentations, I have the word Amazon spelled, and I'll have on several of the screens that I'll use. Okay, you go to the Amazon site, and I'll have the Amazon.com up, and then maybe a few screens later, I'll say you go to the Amazon site again. Here's your Amazon.com up, and then one of the last screens I show is, okay, now here's a site we've been going to, Amazon.com, and a lot of people say, yep, that's the site we go to, and then I'll say no, because that is a scammer site. And then I'll bring up the actual site, Amazon.com. And what you have is one of the small A's in Amazon.com is the Greek letter, I think it's sigma, which looks like a small A. So this is what the scammers will do. They'll just a little bit misspelling of the word in the site. Instead of irs.gov, it will be irs.org. socialsecurity.com, something like that. They may have Social Security SSO, a little misspelling. So you have to be really, really vigilant and due diligence as far as what you're doing up there. And again, double check everything. Engage your inner skeptic. If you feel that it's wrong, if it doesn't feel right, if you think it's too good to be true, think it is too good to be true, say it is. Okay, step back, research it out, but always, trust your gut feeling on a lot of these things. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Double check everything. And the last thing we do is we ask you to share your story with the people. I know the short story I share, and please excuse me if we shared it too many times already, but the one I will share is a story about a guy named Billy Webster. He almost got scammed twice. Now, one of the things we talked an awful lot about emotions and how the scammers will bring you in emotionally. If you notice, nowhere in the presentation did I say, in order to be scammed, you have to have a grade point average lower than, or in order to be scammed, you cannot be a college graduate, or you had to have dropped out of high school, or something like that, something about an intelligence level. No, your intelligence has absolutely nothing to do with being scammed. It's all based on your emotions. And on Billy Webster here, he got a call. Like I said, he almost got scammed twice. He got a call from his granddaughter. And the granddaughter said, this is the grandparent scam we talked about. His granddaughter said, I'm in the hospital and I need money to get out of the hospital. And Billy was going to send her money. So he's getting ready to send her money. And a friend of his stops him and says, Billy, what are you doing? Well, I'm getting ready to send my granddaughter money because she was in an accident. He said, stop, give your granddaughter a call and find out where she's at. So he called the granddaughter up, and the granddaughter has the foggiest idea what granddad's talking about because she's studying for exam or something. She's at home. She's never been in a hospital, never been in an accident, has no clue what granddad's doing. So his friend stopped him from doing that. Second time he almost got scammed, he got an email from a friend who was supposedly lost his wallet in Spain, needed money to get home. Billy went down to Western Union, was getting ready to wire him money, and the Western Union clerk stopped him and said, again, give your friend a call, find out where he's at. Billy gave the friend a call. The friend's at work. He's in the United States. He's working. So the next day, Billy goes into his office. Now, one of the things I asked you, if you knew a gentleman named Billy Webster, if you think back a couple of years, Billy Webster may not be known to you, but a person named Director William Webster of the FBI probably was known to you at one time, or Director William Webster of the Central Intelligence Agency. He was Billy. Now, if you can scam him or almost scam him, we're eligible to be scammed also. So this is a story. We say share your story, because what we do is we let people know what's out there, let them know that, oh, by the way, I received some of these emails and you wouldn't believe what these things had in them. Letting you know that these things are out there, letting you know if I've been scammed. You may feel very embarrassed, but it lets your friends and neighbors and other people know that, yes, you have been scammed. It's not your fault. It's, again, the scammers are professional and they played on your emotions. I'm sorry that I don't have any. Oh, our last thing I always forget there. If you think you've been scammed, you can always go to AARP. One of the things that we have is a watch helpline, a fraud watch helpline. Trudy and I both work the helpline. And what this is volunteers that basically give fraud presentations that have been involved with frauds in some way. And you call them up. If they do not give you the answer immediately, what they will do is they'll take your information and they'll pass it on to people like Trudy and myself. We will give you a call and we will help you either regain your identity or let you know what you have to do to help regain your identity or help you through these particular scams. We have a lot of information out there. There's a lot of information that exists on the web. Federal Trade Commission, Federal Bureau of Investigation, Security Exchange Commission. You just Google them, go on their website, and just search for frauds and scams, and you will get a lot of information out there. AARP has a real good website. If you go to AARP and just like Google AARP frauds and scams, you'll get a good website on there, and it will list several frauds and scams that are going out there. It will, if you Google or if you click on them, it will tell you what they look like, what to do, and what not to do. So real good websites out there. So I don't think we have any questions out there. Trudy, you got anybody, anybody ask any questions? No? Okay. Carol, do you have any questions or anything you want to add?
No, thank you, Martin. That was marvelous information, and walking us through it so we can see what's out there is very useful. And Trudy, thank you for jumping in and giving your tips too. I'll remind our audience that you can see lots more interesting programs at our website at pamunkeylibrary.org or on our Facebook page, which is at Pamunkey Regional Library. So thank you for joining us, and we'll hope to see from you soon again. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.